So before I start this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. We are so close to 2,000 subscribers, and with your help, it is possible. So this video took me a while just to, post. So please show your support by liking and subscribing. But yeah, let's get directly into it. So I'm gonna talk about the lore. So your goal in the game is to get to Mexico where the cure is located. It will take you 80,000 kilometers to get to the very end. And in the game, there is a zombie virus that is happening due to these crazy scientists who created this crazy, spread called Agent 15. So this later spread into a military base called Fort Constitution, and all these people inside that fort died. And then the whole zombie apocalypse takes place in 1899, where you are currently in, and your job is to get to the end and get the cure, located in Mexico. So in the lobby right here, you can actually see that there are newspapers located right here. There's 1999, 1999, and 1899 right here, and all of them. And yeah, they are all in a different timeline. So yeah, just make sure to read them. And before I start this video again, there's this currency called bonds, which I'm going to go over again in the video. But you could actually use them to buy stuff like right here. There's a doctor. You can buy snake oil right here, and you can buy bandages. And then there's a bank right here where you can actually buy bonds using Roblox, but I highly do not recommend it. But here are the bonds right here. And next we have the general store. So the general store has armor right here, bowl, and a Molotov. Okay, we have the gunsmith now. So in the gunsmith, you can actually get a rifle for 5 bonds, a rifle ammo, shotgun, a shotgun ammo, revolver, and revolver ammo. But just keep in mind, these items, when you buy them, they only last for 1 life. So you gotta watch out whenever buying them. And I personally do not buy them, but if you are new to the game, then you could buy them to help you make your run safer, especially buying the gun. Right here, we have the game passes. So what I recommend doing if you have Robux and you want to spend money on this game, I recommend buying the Mauser C96. It is really good, and I actually use it as well. Next, we have more storage. This is really useful since it gives you 5 extra bag space. It allows you to carry more items. It's in general just a very good game pass. But lastly, we have the tailor. So classes actually allow you to spawn with certain gears, and they're actually permanent. So when you go inside, you can see that there's multiple classes. So the green classes are the ones that you are selecting or using. The blue ones that is the ones that you already have. So I have every single class in the game, and I think I will be really reliable when it comes to telling you guys how to play this game. 2 more things. So there's actually a leaderboard where it shows everyone's wins, and if you guys are curious, I actually have 24 wins. So yeah, and I have 1,000 bonds, as you can see on the left side. So challenges allow you to get the bond currency, which allows you again to buy everything from these locations. Opening them allows you to see all the challenges, and you only can complete the challenges once. Alright, enough talking, let's get directly into the game. Okay, so once you spawn in, you will not have this game pass, but this is just because I spent Robux and bought it. But once you spawn in, go to the trading outpost, then sell the piece of gold. Right after that, make your way over here. Once you're at the general store, you want to buy 3 pieces of coal. And you can store the items with your bag by pressing F. Then pick up 3 pieces of newspaper. Now once you've done that, you can actually use them as protection. So just put them in order like this. And doing this just makes your train more protective, so zombies cannot actually go through. But if you go sideways, you can actually go through. So the next piece, what I would recommend doing is just placing it on the side, because there will be other hostiles that can actually kill you through the window. Just like that, your train is protected, and now you can just leave. Make sure to put 3 pieces of coal inside the field and just leave. One thing is, make sure to skip random buildings and just go directly towards town, because some of those buildings are actually useless. They actually most of the time have nothing in them, and you do not want to go to them since they have really nothing. But the most important places that you want to go to are mines, outlaw posts, barns, sheriffs, gun stores, and furniture stores. Outlaws sell for $35 each, but it may be a challenge to kill them, but they actually have a horse, and the horses are really important because it allows you to travel much more faster. So as you see right here, I'm going directly towards the town and wasting no time just to get there. You want to skip every single building besides those buildings that I listed. So a building like this, you want to skip them. For emergency purposes, you may get down there to get them as fuel. And just like that, I've located a town. So what you want to do is just get them and make them follow you onto the train. And now you can just hit them through this protective piece of newspaper. And again, just get more. And you can just hit them through the safety of your wall. And you can actually use them as fuel as well, so I'll just recommend picking them up, throwing them down in here. And you can actually hit these zombies really easily, just like this, if they're stuck on this piece of wood. Yep, and just loot their bodies, and then just bring the rest over here to this location, so it's actually more easier to kill them. This will take a bit, so keep in mind. Just like that, I just killed all the zombies, and you can use them as fuel as well, which I recommend doing. But make sure to go to the bank as fast as possible. You want to locate the banker because the banker does have a code, and that code allows you to get gold and bonds. So instead of walking directly into the zombie, you want to just take out your shovel and just hit them while walking backwards. So it allows you to basically proxy or distance yourself while hitting. So as soon as it becomes nighttime, I recommend you to instantly go into your train, especially when it is red outside. When it is red outside, that means that there are vampires. So because of vampires spawning, they could actually do a ton of damage to you. So just stay inside the safety of your train, and you can just go AFK, which I recommend doing. Do not go outside or risking death or anything, because you will definitely lose your run. So I'm just gonna time lapse this. Just like that, it becomes daytime at 5 AM. So if you manage to kill some vampires, you can actually use them to burn as fuel, but what I like to do is just use them as money, so we're gonna sell them later. But once you've done that, there are two locations that you want to go to, which is the furniture store, the bank, and the church. Of course, all towns are different. You can again hit zombies through the walls instead of going directly in. So I got lucky, and near the town actually had a mining outpost. And these mining outposts actually have coal in them. So you want to go to them as fast as possible and get the coal. And just like that, there are 3 pieces of coal. And then you can just leave and go back to your train. Now what I recommend doing is you can actually drop the coal and just place them on your train, so you have extra storage. Now just head back to the town. Then you can actually go inside of the furniture stores, and they actually have a ton of coal, which I recommend getting. And you can actually use these chairs for something later, so I'll show you guys. And make sure to get sometimes a little bit of junk, so you can use them as protection. Another thing that I recommend you guys doing is getting these gold objects, because they actually sell for a decent amount. But make sure to stay near indoors so you do not get hit. And you can get more silver items as well, which I recommend doing. In case of a zombie gets close to you, you can just hit them through the walls like this. And now, just locate the banker. And once you're in the bank, sometimes the banker is not here, and he's normally located in a different location. Now the banker was actually located in the church, but this normally does not happen. But just hit it, and the banker actually drops a code. And in the bank, you can actually loot the items here as well. But I actually got unlucky, and the banker's code actually bugged and spawned directly on top, so I can't really get that. As you see, it's right there. But yeah, I cannot do anything about that. Yeah, that is way too high, guys. I'm gonna try stacking objects to get to it. Oh, another thing, if you guys did not know, which I'm really lucky to have, dynamite can actually blow up the bank if this happens to you. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place on a dynamite right here, place a torch, and run immediately outside. I just got really lucky, and the general store had it. And the bank will blow up, and it actually has loot. So now you can just loot it up. It'll have bonds, it'll have silver and gold. And just like that, you could leave. I recommend bringing a torch with you if you're lucky to find one. And you can use this torch when it's nighttime. So I really recommend this if you are scared of the dark. Just like that, we have a torch down. And then I recommend just dropping everything and just try going back and looting anything else that you can get. I'm gonna go back as fast as possible, get these chairs, and I'll show you what I mean. Once you've done that, go to your train and just drive immediately as fast as possible before it gets too dangerous. So now we're just gonna go directly towards the outpost. And the outpost is actually a safe zone, and that safe zone protects you from any mobs or hostiles because they have turrets located on top of them, and they actually allow you to stay in there as long as possible. But if the ammo runs out of the turrets, then you will be attacked by hostiles. So this is a safe zone, and each safe zone is different, has different items, and I got lucky again. So if you guys did not see this, you can actually get these outlaws and sell them at the sheriff's outpost. So I'll show you how that looks like right now. This does not normally happen at all, so this is just based on luck, guys. And the outlaws actually spawn inside of the safe zone, which allows me just to sell them. So yeah, this will not happen to you guys. And you can use the horses to travel faster, which I highly recommend doing. So what I would do is then go to the sheriff's office, then I'll sell the outlaws. So you can sell them here for extra money, and it sells for $35 per, which is really good. Just make sure when you're inside of that safe zone, you're actually spending a lot of your time looking for the items that you want to find fast, but at the same time you want to make sure you look at time where you're not wasting too much time. So there's actually a bug in the game which you can do with the horse, which I will show you guys in a bit. Now just sell all your valuable items. I actually recommend saving the crucifix because you can actually use them to kill a gigantic crowd. So just make sure to save them, and then you can just come back over here and just sell all your items. Now just like that, I have $500, and you can actually do the same thing if you are lucky and you manage to get outlaws that spawn inside of the post. Then just like that, you can use another piece of junk and block out, which does take out your vision, but it's also safer. You can use the vampires and sell them for extra money. And if you look up, sometimes the money actually gets stuck on top here, so just make sure to get it. And just like that, I have $650. And what you want to do immediately is buy a gun. I recommend buying a rifle, but you can also buy a shotgun because shotguns do the same, almost the exact same thing. But a rifle is really important because it does one-shot headshot zombies. So just keep in mind, your aim has to be good if you want to use a rifle. Alright, just like that, we have a ton of ammo. Now once you've done that, make sure to get your horses if you even have a horse at this time. Make sure you have a ton of horses and just save them on your train, because if a horse dies, you will basically be slow. So you want to have extra horses. I'm just going to place them down like that. Another tip is to place down your coal close enough to your fuel tank so you can just burn them. Just gather all of your coal actually and just bring it to the closest so you can actually fuel instantly. Now once you've done that, go to the general store, and if you manage to get lucky, there will be coal right here which I recommend buying. So you want to buy coal, but not only that, make sure to prioritize getting armor. So there's 4 pieces of armor that you get in the game, which is the helmet, the shoulder pads, and whatnot. But I recommend you buying a ton of coal. Just buy a lot, as much coal as possible. So just like that, I'm gonna buy this much coal, but make sure you have enough money where you can save and buy at the doctor. Another thing is, if you're in an outpost, you can actually get the dead zombies, which is free fuel, and you can just use them to burn inside your tank. So I'll show you this right now. You can actually just use them to burn, just like that. And then I just recommend you dropping all your coal near the tank, and boom, you have a ton of coal. Again, you can use the zombies as fuel. Then there's 2 options that you have. There's snake oil. I recommend using snake oil for emergency purposes, but you can also, I recommend you getting bandages if you're a beginner, because they're actually really cheap. They cost only $10 a year. Now once you've done that, immediately just pick them up, just head back to your trade. Now make sure you have heals and a ton of ammo and also armor with you at all times. So now we're just gonna skip and go directly to the next town, and I'll show you how it's done. Okay, now that you found a town, you can actually stay inside your train when it's nighttime, but if you have a horse, then you can actually stay outside. So I would just get my horse. I would also get a cross. If you have a cross, just ride directly down the middle. And this might sound stupid, but just attract as many zombies as possible. Now as you see right here, you're gonna start having zombies and vampires spawn near you, and that's obviously really dangerous. So you want to just drive or ride away on your horse, and the reason why you have a horse is so that you can obviously outrun these zombies. So meanwhile you're doing that, just gather as much zombies as possible, and if you're lucky enough and you actually save the cross like I told you to, you should be able to do this method. But just like that, I got the whole town. And now there's 2 ways that you can do this method. You can use holy water, or you could use a cross. So I'm just gonna wait for it to be daytime, because these vampires are here. So yeah, just stay on your horse, guys. Just stay on your horse at all times and do not leave it. Watch out for any walls, because if you do not do that, you can actually end up running into a wall and dying, and you do not want that, guys. So just consistently make circles around the large group and just wait for it to be daytime. Alright, once it's daytime, you want to look back and just throw the cross, and just like that, they all die instantly. And then once you've done that, look for the banker code, and this banker code, you can use it to open the bank again and get more bonds and gold. Just like that, we got a bank right here. I'm just gonna take everything. Just like that, we got bonds and we got my healthy horse. Then I'm just gonna look for any other items that I can get. I'm gonna go to the church and I'm gonna locate the crucifix and I'm gonna get the holy water. And you wanna stock on a lot of holy water because holy water is really useful. There's also holy water out here, and sometimes holy water and everything else in the game actually spawns outside of the original build. So if you manage to get lucky and go to the gunsmith, you can actually get a gun and you can get ammo as well. And you can use that gun obviously to kill zombies like this right here. And yeah, just in reality, just loot and just look at any house right here in the town. Just make sure everything is clear, coast is clear, and make sure everything is looted. Again, you want to always go to the furniture stores because they always have one coal or at least 2 pieces of coal. And then the general store actually sometimes has sheet metal, but at this point it doesn't right now. So I'll just gather the rest of the zombies and you can just kill them just by tapping on their heads with their gun. Just like that, they're all dead. Then I'm going to the gun store. But sometimes the gun stores do not have any guns or anything, so just keep that in mind. And now what I will do is I'll just locate any other location. So now there's a furniture shop which has coal. So a tip with this, I'll show you guys in a bit with the camera and whatnot. So we're gonna go to the sheriff's office. Oh, right here actually has a machine gun. You can actually use this machine gun and I'll show you how. Just make sure you loot every single other building just in case, and make sure to, if you can, just find dynamite, because in emergency options you can definitely use them to blow up the banks. It saves a lot of time, guys. Just make sure you put it far away from your other stuff. So I'm just gonna drop down these items so I have extra space. And now what you want to do is just place the machine gun on top of your just like so. And now I'm just gonna ride back, just place these objects back. Now I'm just gonna ride back and loot the other locations. So right here we have a sheriff's office, and now we're just gonna loot it. There's nothing else here, but there is this. And you can actually use this turn ammo right here, obviously to use turn. And I'll show you how it works. So you cannot actually reload the turret, but what you can do is put the turret ammo right next to it, so it actually uses the ammo. And just like that, you want to put the turret ammo right here, and then you can actually use it now. So it's pretty chill, cool. You press E to shoot, and yeah. So I'm just gonna drop all my valuables here, so I have extra storage. And once you've finished clearing the location, make sure that you store everything on your train. Make sure everything is attached. So I'm gonna show you a strategy which is pretty unique. You can use this chair to actually go inside of your train. If you just place it right here, hop in, and just like that you can hop out. So my horse really wants me to sit. Alright, just like something like that, where you can actually go out of it. Just like this. You can actually get out of your train and get back in. So when it's blue like this, you want to immediately go inside your train, because that can actually summon lightning, which is very dangerous. So you want to go inside your train and just run. Now we're just going to go directly next to the other outposts. When you hear howling, that means that there are werewolves. And just like that, we're in the next safe zone at 20,000 meters. So right there, just jump off, and then you can actually refill your train, which I highly recommend doing like that. Don't overfill it, but with the camera, what you can do, if you guys did not know, you can actually use it as a way to go third person. So what I would do is I'll just place it here like that, and you can just look directly like that, and look at that. You can actually zoom out now, which is really good. And you can actually hop out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna block out this way so no zombies or anything can come in. Just like that. The way how I will get in now, I'll just use these chairs to get in. I can use this chair to get out. So if you guys did not know that, I'll explain that in a bit. But first, what I want to do is I'm going to sell everything that I can. I'm just going to save this cross, because the cross is really very useful. So now just go on your horse, and if you manage to find werewolves, you can actually sell them for $20 per, guys. So just sell your items and just do the same exact thing. I recommend you buying now a lot of snake oil, but just make sure to check your general store, because every single general store is different. The general store is actually also randomized. So once you've done that, just go directly towards the general store. Now once you're there, look for anything that's valuable. So right here, I got armor, and now I have full pieces of armor. Just like that, I am now fully armored. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go directly towards this place right here. So in short, this is the Tesla boss place, and this Tesla boss place actually spawns a boss at the very end, which you have to be very careful. But when you spawn it, you actually get a very overpowered gun. So what you want to do is just get them like this. Items right here, and the very back over here, right here, behind this crate, on the table, and then one more piece which is located far back. And I'll just pick up these pieces of gold and silver just in case. Now just drop all the items on here, and then I would just recommend picking up everything else. Make sure a horse is located next to you outside, and make sure you pick up these items as well, because they are very useful. Because when lightning does strike, it actually one-shots you, and you want to stay protected. So just turn that on, and immediately just run directly outside. Go to your horse and just run as far as possible. I recommend going to your train. But I just got lucky, and this actually ended up spawning outside the safe zone, so I am safe, and the zombies will actually die. So you see lightning just spawn, and I want to go to my train immediately, because if I do not, it's really dangerous. So I'm just gonna put down these posts, these lightning rods, so I don't get hit. And just like that, as you see right there, if I did not place down this lightning post, and I would have died. So yeah, just make sure you have them whenever it has thunder or lightning happen. And I recommend putting it near the front of your train. Just make sure you stay in distance. But what I recommend doing though is just stay inside your train so you do not get hurt. Whenever you're doing this Tesla boss, it actually summons lightning. So just like that, as you see right there, it happened again. But yeah, just make sure you stay in your train, just like this. And you can also look third person by using this camera. As you can see right there on the left side, on my right side of my screen, there's a ton of zombies. Now you just gotta wait out for the lightning to happen. Alright, I think the lightning is over. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna leave and just go on my horse. But again, I just got lucky, so these actually died right outside. I'll show you the method that I'm talking about. You just do the same exact thing when you get to a town. I'm not going to use that outpost again, just because I want to show you guys how it's done. Just get a ton of zombies like that, make a gigantic circle, and just run in the direct line, and then just drop your cross, and they all die. Just like that. And then it actually has a valuable gun, which is got the electrocutioner, and actually spawns a ton of bombs as well. Just like that. Check the back. And just like that, I have the best gun in the game. But keep in mind, whenever you're summoning the boss, it's gonna be at the very end, and you're gonna have to fight the boss. And this is where you get the badge. So once I've done that, I'm just gonna go inside the safe zone. And normally when it actually spawns, it's always near a safe zone. But again, I'm just gonna stay inside here so I'm safe. I'm just gonna place these iron rods far from my entrance, so I'm actually safer. Make sure you then buy as much snake oil now as possible. Snake oil is the best method of healing. Then once you've done that, just go back to your train. And what you can do, since you have all this coal, you actually do not need to stop anymore. So you can just pick up all these pieces of coal and just go directly towards the end. But there's two more locations I want to show you guys before I get to the end, because those locations actually have some cool stuff in them. So now I'm just gonna go back to my train, and now I'm just gonna drive directly towards those locations. And as you can see right here, I am super protected. These outlaws cannot shoot me at all whatsoever. I have so much protection, and they cannot shoot me because of these newspapers. Now we're at 30,000 meters, guys. Here we actually have a castle, and I'll show you how to loot the castle. So it does take time. But I'm just gonna go to the safe zone, because if you guys did not know, every castle is really located next to a safe zone, so you just gotta stay next to it. So now that I'm at the safe zone, I'm just gonna stay here and just wait for it to be daytime. So just like that, we have the castle. So the castle actually takes a long time just to complete. I'm just gonna stay out here. So what you wanna do is just stay outside, just wait. Because once you go in, there's definitely gonna be werewolves and whatnot. But because I have the gun, I can just one-shot them. So I'm just gonna do that. But ideally, you're not gonna be able to do that. So now I'm just gonna loot everything else, guys. There's bonds everywhere, so you just wanna loot everything. can use nickel to actually speed yourself as well. Just like that. I'm out, but I'm just gonna stay out here because I need to kill all of them. Yeah, if I were you, I would just stay out here and just wait for the spawn just to leave. There's no fast way to actually loot it really fast, but the only way that you can do that is if you have other classes, like for example vampire. If you check my other videos, I completed in 30 seconds or less than 40 seconds. You can tell if a castle stops spawning or is ready if vampires appear to not spawn. So once they do stop spawning, that's when you can go in. So it looks like the vampires stopped spawning, so I'm just gonna check inside. There's actually a ton of werewolves, so I'm just gonna kill them right now. Just like that, they're all dead. Now I'm just gonna loot everything else, guys. And then I'm just gonna loot everything up here. There's a ton of loot up here, guys, so there's actually a lot of molotovs which you can use, which I'm just gonna take. There's a lot of heals, medications, and there's also more guns that you guys can take. So over here is where the vampire knife is, and you want to loot here most of the time because it actually has the vampire knife, and the vampire knife, it can actually lifesteal. But normally what I would do is I would just sell it because it's not really worth it. And just like that, you just clear the whole entire place. So I found a fort, and I'll just show you guys how to loot it fast. I'm just gonna show you guys the real method on how to do it. So you want to go up here and just go on top of the building. And now once you're on here, I'd recommend you waiting for a few seconds. Just like that, it should be ready. So I'm just gonna use my executioner, which you might not have, but you can actually end up using holy water. Throw it at the entrance and it'll do the same exact thing. So I'm just gonna jump down. I'm just gonna shoot these zombies that are here. And the main reason why you're here is because there's a zombie called Captain Prescott. Captain Prescott is in the lore, and Captain Prescott is the general of this place, and he basically died because of the zombie apocalypse. And you can actually loot everything else, a ton of bandages and a ton of ammo, which you can loot. And you can actually take Captain Prescott's body and sell him for $150 if you guys did not know. And you can actually use a horse to actually no-clip through. So what I mean is you can actually use a horse. Look at this, just like that. You can actually go through without using the key. So I'm just gonna loot everything, and you actually get a cannon here as well. Pretty nice. And now you can just do the same thing, but it's pretty risky doing this method. Alright, and then I'm just gonna get Captain Prescott just like that, and I'm just gonna open it. But you can actually get some canyons and that. So in order to leave this place safely, what I recommend doing is get a horse. Just pick up everything again. Just get a horse, and while jumping, just hold it at the same time. You can just pick it up at the same time. Do the same thing right here, and then you can just ride off. And you want to do this because there's going to be zombies guarding the outposts, so I'm just going to kill them from afar. But yeah, if you do not have a horse yet, this place gives you plenty of horses. So now I'm just going to go back on my train, and I'm just going to pick up my gold and whatnot. So that's every single location in the game. So now that you've found the very end, and then you find this at 80,000 meters, I recommend just taking it slow and then just kill them slowly from the outside. But you can actually use a horse to get slowly closer, which I recommend doing. So I'm just gonna use my horse here. I'm just gonna slowly creep up and just kill these guys. And what you can do again is that you can refill the executioner with the holy water. So I'm just gonna do that, and I'm just gonna throw holy water directly on it, just like that. And once the executioner has particles around it, like this, that means it's recharged. So I'm just gonna go back in, and I'm just gonna kill the rest. So at the end, very end over here, it actually has a ton of bonds. So I'm just gonna loot every single room, and I'll show you guys in a bit. Now once you've done that and looted every single building, you want to go to the lower bridge, lower it down, and there starts a 4-minute timer. So while that happens, I recommend you just staying on your horse. Just like that, we have Tesla all the way down there. So I'm just going to shoot him multiple times. Don't worry about getting hit. because he has really bad aim. Just hit his head, just a few shots, he should be dead. Just like that, and you get the badge. I already have the badge, so I'm not gonna have it. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this game. You just have to wait for the very end, and you just beat the game. Dead real, just like that. Really, really easy. You just pick him up, just like that. And if you guys did not know, his whole corpse sells for $350, and his brain sells for $250. So do what you want with that. Then just like that, I'm just gonna go back over here, and then I'm just gonna go AFK. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. It took me a really long time again, so please make sure to like and subscribe, and yeah, comment down any video suggestions you guys have, and yeah, see you guys.